وأعطيت الناس عن والنار لا لو تضر.
Abdullah bin Mulaika Tawkal. Bismillah.
وأعطيت الناس
أبي مليكة قال توفيت بنت عثمان بن عفان بمكة فجئنا لنشهدها وحضرها ابن عمر وابن عباس فإني لجالس بينهما فقال عبد الله بن عمر لعمرو بن عثمان وهو مواجبه لا تنهي عن البكاء فإن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إن الميت لا يعذب ببكاء أهله عليه. فقال ابن عباس قد كان عمر يقول بعض ذلك ثم حدث فقال صدرت مع عمر من مكة حتى إذا كنا بالبيداء فرجعت إلى صهيب فقلت ارتحل فالحق أمير المؤمنين. فلما أن أصيب عمر دخل صهيب يبكي يقول وأخاه وصاحباه فقال عمر يا صهيب أتبكي علي؟ وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الميت لا يعذب ببعض بكاء أهله عليه. فقال ابن عباس فلما عمر ذكرت ذلك لعائشة فقالت يرحم الله عمر لا والله ما حدث رسول الله.
Okay, stop there. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وأنا عبد الله بن أبي مليكة narrating authority of Abdullah ibn Abu Mulaika قالت توفيت بنت لعثمان بن عفان that a daughter of Uthman ibn Affan passed away. You put a message on the starting, eh? Just put it there.
لا أنا ليس بربي وراحت الشمس فقال هذا ربي أكبر. لما غابت في الليل قال إبراهيم لا هذا ليس بربي الله حي لا يموت
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Narrating the authority of Abdullah ibn Abi Mulaika, he said, Tufiyat bintul Uthman. Once a daughter of Uthman ibn Affan passed away in Makkah. So this means before the Sahaba Ikram made hijrat while they were still living in Makkah. فَجِئْنَا لِنَشْهَدَ. Right. So we came, obviously, at the time somebody passes away, we came there, like how you say, what you call it, ta'ziyat, ne? Right. لِنَشْهَدَ. وحضر ابن عمر وابن عباس. Ibn Umar and Ibn Abbas came. فإني جالس بينهما. So this is the Rawi Abdullah ibn Abi Mulaika says, فإني جالس بينهما. I was sitting between them. فقال عبد الله بن عمر لعمر ibn Uthman. Yeah. So Abdullah ibn Umar said to Amr ibn Uthman, that is the son of Uthman, right? وهو مواجه. And وهو مواجه, while he was facing him, واجه يواجه. He said to him, so he's saying to the son of what? Of Uthman, that is the brother of the deceased. He's saying, ألا تنهى عن البكاء? Will you not stop crying like this? فإن رسول الله قال, because Rasulullah said, إن الميت لا يعذب ببكاء أهله. That verily, the deceased, لا يعذب, he is punished, right? ببكاء أهله, with the excessive crying of his family. So remember, we interpreted this, Uthman, how we interpret this, when you cry, takal, what pretense. Remember we said this. So we say as the Umar statement is right. that all those hadith, just remember to get everything in perspective. All those who say that deceased is punished because of the crying of the family, we say when there's pretense. One is the natural sobbing, the natural crying, the natural grief. That obviously you can't control yourself. And that even Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam done himself, right? Are you with me? But this year, which is what pretends, like you force yourself to cry, that I must show that this person is being missed, and I'm going to, like how the next day I say, the woman said, I'm going to cry for 1 year to show that this was a great person, because they would measure, the Arabs, they would measure the worth of a person by the amount that people would cry for him. You understand what I'm saying? They would measure the status. So the more people cry for you, the more they extol your virtues, the more they do anything like that, then you are, then you what you call it, you are like a great person, right? Like I told you, by us the native people, the more expensive your hearse you have, the more better coffin you have, the more smarter funeral you have, then the greater status symbol. But we know that all that means nothing. What inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The most noble of you is what? Doesn't matter what coffin you got, doesn't matter what hearse takes you, doesn't matter how much people cry for you, it doesn't matter. It's only your a'mal that counts, right? So that's why we say instead of spending money on the elaborate funeral, etc., rather give it in charity, right? So he said, ألا تنهى ألا تنهى عن البكاء فإن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إن الميت ليعذب ببكاء أهله عليه. فقال ابن عباس, then Ibn Abbas said, قد كان عمر. Umar used to say, يقول بعد, after some of that, right? You know, he used to say this here that I believe the deceased is punished because of the crying of the family. And I told you what it means. The misdaq is when there was pretense, right? No. Calling you. أصيب عمر. Then when Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu was struck by Abu Lu'lu al-Majusi, right? دخل سهيب. So he's just showing that Hazrat Amir al-Mu'minin and Hazrat Suhaib al-Rumi radiallahu ta'ala anhu, they were very close people, right? So يبكي, he began crying, يقول وأخاه, oh my brother, وصاحباه, oh my companion. فقال عمر, يا سهيب, oh Suhaib, أتبكي, are you crying علي؟ وقد قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم said إن الميت لا يعذب ببعد بكاء أهله, right? So he's saying that the deceased is punished with some of the crying of his family. وقال ابن عباس, ابن عباس, فلما مات عمر, when Umar passed away, ذكرت ذلك لعائشة, I mentioned to us that Aisha radiallahu ta'ala what his Umar statement was, إن الميت لا يعذب ببكاء أهلي, right? Right? فقالت يرحم الله عمر, may Allah ta'ala have mercy upon Umar. Now if you remember again, remember what Hazrat Aisha's understanding of the hadith was, that if a person died on kufr and now you're crying for that person, now that person, the angel say to the person, oh, so were you really such a good person like how those people say? Were you really a mountain of goodness, right? And they'll punish him. Like I told you, oh, you're a good boy, come here. You're a good boy. Let me give you one shot, like that, right? So that was as Aisha Siddiqa's understanding. In fact, she said, Ya Rahamullah Umara, may Allah have mercy on Umar. La wallahi ma haddatha Rasulullah. So she's saying, no, so she's giving her understanding of the context of the statement. She's saying, ma haddatha Rasulullah in al mayta la yu'adhabu bi bika'i ahlihi. Nabi Sallallahu didn't say that a person will be punished just because of the crying of the deceased, right? No. But ولكن الله يزيد الكافر عذابا. But when a kafir um, dies and people cry, yes, then عذاب بأهله عليه. Then, like I tell you, people say, oh, the angel will say, oh, so you معلم Aisha, this is the proof of Aisha. حسبكم القرآن. The Quran is good enough for you. What the Quran says that one soul shall not be burdened by the crime of another soul. ولا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى. قال ابن عباس رضي الله عنه ذلك والله بس هو أضحك وأبكى. I take it, Allah Ta'ala is the one who makes laugh, وأبكى, he makes you cry. قال ابن أبو ملائكة, ابن أبو ملائكة said فما قال ابن so ابن ملائكة said فما قال ابن عمر شيئا. Ibn Umar, when he was told what Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala's understanding of the whole incident is, he never responded. He just remained silent, right? So, توفي بنت عثمان, the daughter of Uthman radiallahu ta'ala anha, passed away in Makkah. And then a few senior Sahaba Ikram, they gathered there. From among them was Hazrat Ibn Umar, Hazrat Ibn Abbas, Hazrat Uthman's son, Amr ibn Uthman. And obviously some people were crying there, right? So Hazrat Ibn Umar said to Amr ibn Uthman that time, why don't you stop the lady folk from crying, etc.? Because the deceased is punished because of the crying of the family. So then, Ibn Abbas then follow the sequence nicely, the relationship between the incidences. So the first incident was what? Of the advice Ibn Umar gave to Amr ibn Uthman. Listen nicely, right? When the people were crying in the house. So when Ibn Abbas witnessed what Ibn Umar was saying, so Ibn Abbas added his point also in and saying, look here, your father, when he passed away, then he mentioned something similar also when Hazrat Suhaib al-Rumi was crying for him. Are you with me so far? See, look there. He said, إن الميت لا يعذب ببكاء أهل عليه. فقال ابن عباس قد عمر. So in other words, Ibn Abbas is endorsing the statement of what? He's endorsing the statement of Ibn Umar. Right? فقال ابن عباس قد كان عمر يقول بعد ذلك. He should say the same thing. Then he gives the incident ثم حدث ذلك ثم حدث فقال صدرت مع عمر من مكة حتى إذا كنا بالبيضاء. Then he gives the incident. Yeah, so yeah. So then follow nicely this. So this incident here now he mentions about something happened and Umar was traveling. So it's not directly related to the previous incident or the incident after it, but the reason why Ibn Abbas brought this incident was just to show the strong relationship between Hazrat Suhaib al-Rumi and between Umar radiallahu ta'ala. Are you with me? Just to show they were very close, because he wanted to show that Hazrat Suhaib al-Rumi when Hazrat Umar passed away, then he was crying. You understand what I'm saying? You follow what I'm saying? So the incident of calling him when they were traveling, and when Umar radiallahu saw Hazrat Suhaib Rumi, and he called him to come to him, etc. That is just to show that they were very, very close people. You following, Yusuf? You following what I'm saying? Huh? Not following. Not showing signs of recognition. So it's a separate incident, just to show like Like, you say somebody passed away, you say, my friend, we were very close, we used to go always together, everything. And now he passed away, right? And now he passed away, right? So you just show it's like a preamble. So before he's mentioning that as Suhaib Rumi was crying for Umar, he's just showing that they were very, very close. And then he comes to the main part that as Umar also cautioned Suhaib Rumi when he was like about to pass away, don't cry for me because unnecessarily, because you're going to cause difficulty to me. You understood that? So this whole part here, ثم حدث فقال صدرت مع أمراء من مكة حتى إذا كنا بالبيضاء فإذا هو بركب تحت ظل سمرة فقال اذهب فانظر من هؤلاء ركبوا وجدت فنظرت فإذا هو صهيب قال فأخبرت فقال ادعو فراجعت إليه وقلت ارتحل فالحق أمير المؤمنين. So he just showing that as Umar was so fond of Hazrat Suhaib that he said when he saw him like on the road, he said, come, join us, maybe take meals with us or whatever. Right? So he's just showing that it's very close. Then now he's switching to a different story again. You see, you're following what's happening. You're following the train of the whole hadith. First, you're speaking about what happened by Hazrat Uthman's daughter. And then, as Umar mentioned, that the mate is punished. Then the next thing what happening there is Hazrat Ibn Abbas endorses what Hazrat Ibn Umar is saying. And he endorsed it by giving the incident of what Hazrat Umar mentioned to Hazrat Suhaib al-Rumi. But before he mentioned that, he first shows that they were very, very close. You understood what I'm saying? Yusuf, you with us? Right. So then he mentions, I told you, so yeah, Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu hadn't passed away as yet, but he was seriously wounded. So when he saw Suhaib al-Rumi crying, so probably he was excessive in his crying, because um, I told you obviously that the normal tabi crying, right? So as Ibn Abbas then mentioned the incident of Hazrat Suhaib Rumi and of Hazrat Umar. So there's a third incident. You're going to the third incident already, right? It's, right. So anyway, that story is finished. So then the next thing now, look again. So that's finished. Hazrat Umar passed away. So فقال ابن عباس فلما now you're going to a fourth story again. There's four different incidents in this hadith. That's why you must follow nicely. فلما right, so فقال ابن عباس فلما مات عمر ذكرت ذلك لعائشة. So now all this what Ibn Umar said with regards to the child of Uthman, and then also Ibn Abbas endorsed what Ibn Umar was saying by quoting the incident of what? Of Hazrat Suhaib al-Rumi and of Hazrat Umar. Right? So there's a third incident. Now we're switching to a fourth incident. فقال ابن عباس, so as Ibn Abbas, okay, as after Umar passed away, ذكرت لعائشة, I told Aisha, see, this is what happened, that Ibn Umar and Hazrat Umar, father and son, they are both saying that the deceased will be punished as a result of the crying of the family, right? So as Aisha radiallahu anha now comments about their statement. فقال يرحم الله عمر, may Allah Ta'ala have mercy upon, لا والله ما حدث رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الميت لا يعذب بكاء أهله. That Nabi Sallallahu didn't say that the deceased will be punished because of the actions of the family, because that goes against a Quranic principle. It goes against a Quranic principle. But what Nabi Sallallahu meant here is وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ يَزِيدُ الْكَافِرَ عَذَابًا. Allah Ta'ala will increase the punishment of a kafir. So right. So remember, Aisha Siddiqa's understanding of the whole incident is that this was with regard to a particular Jewess. So she was not aware of the other incidents where Nabi Sallallahu said that the deceased will be punished because of the crying of the. She only witnesses one incident, so she thought it's restricted to that one incident. Are you with me? Right. Whereas, because we got ubur of all the incidents, we know that it is general, right? We know. Then Hazrat Aisha Siddiqa, she quotes a verse to solidify her stance. Her stance. وقالت عائشة Aisha حسبكم القرآن. The Quran is enough for you to prove that what I'm saying, that the disease can't be punished. Sheikh Ajusa, you can try to finish up, inshallah. You can read the books later. That she goes to prove her stance. Look here, ولا تزر وازرة حسبكم القرآن ولا تزر وازرة إزر أخرى. Look here, one soul, one carrier will not carry the burden of the next person, right? Right. So, so although we agree with her 100% that one person can't carry the burden of another person, but this incident, what you wanted, huh? They bought there. There's no tissue here. I gave them the money to buy this morning. You can copy. Go fetch a tissue there. The toilet paper. They must always bring one. Yeah, I tell them. So we agree with her, but we say this here where a person will be punished because of the crying of his family is when a person bequeathed it. Look, when I die, but hire these ladies or this company to come and cry for me. Or he said, when I die, I want you people to mourn for me. For so many days, you people must cry, etc., etc., right? So that answers that. So Qala ibn Abbas in the right. So Hazrat Ibn Abbas said that Wallahi wa adhaka wa abka. So when Hazrat Aisha Siddiqa said this, then she said Qala ibn Abbas when he heard the explanation of Aisha Siddiqa, he said, Allah Ta'ala is the one who makes you laugh and he's the one who makes you cry. قال ابن أبو مليكة فما قال ابن عمر شيئا. When Ibn Umar now heard the explanation of Aisha Siddiqa, he just remained silent, because what happened, even if we got our own position, but when the big people speak, what we do, even though maybe we still want to stick to our position because we believe our position is correct, but when the big persons speak, we just keep quiet. We don't what? We don't argue. We don't object. So obviously, Hazrat Aisha Siddiqa was a senior. She was the muftiya of the ummah. She was the wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he just remained silent in front of her. Just 1 second. Yeah. So when Ibn Abbas is saying here, look here, قال ابن عباس إن ذلك هو أضحك وأبكى. Allah Ta'ala is the one who makes you laugh, and Allah Ta'ala is the one who makes you cry. It seems like as though he's what do you say? What's it, coinciding? Not what you say. What you say when you agree with somebody? Concurring. Yeah. It seems like he is concurring with the opinion of Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala. Yeah. How can the maid be punished because of the crying of deceased when Allah Ta'ala is the one who makes you laugh? Allah Ta'ala is the one who makes you cry. So why will the maid be punished because of the laughing and the crying of the family when Allah Ta'ala is the one who makes you laugh and Allah Ta'ala is the one who makes you cry? Are you with me? So anyway, we explained to you the details of that. So as Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala, she's not denying the hadith, إِنَّ الْمَيْتَ لَا يُعَذَّبُ بِبُكَاءِ أَهْلِهِ. But she's just explaining it to be a particular context, which we don't necessarily agree with. We don't agree with that context. We say it is general, but we also give it some explanation, and we say when this is done with the what? With the express approval of the deceased, right? Okay, so I'm just a little bit interesting. Maybe we covered this already. Remember the killer of his Umar was called Abu Lu'lu al-Majusi. Abu Lu'lu al-Majusi, he was the slave of Mughira ibn Shu'bah. So one time, Nabi Sallallahu or rather, as Umar in his Khilafat, he made an announcement that all non-Muslims must be expelled from the Medina Munawwara. No kafir must remain there, right? So Hazrat Mughira ibn Shuba went to Hazrat Umar and said, okay, I got the slave. They're like, you know how you get investments today? You buy a business as an investment, or you open a business, or you buy a property, and the property must earn income for you, etc. That time, in the time of Nabi Sallallahu, you'd buy a slave that had a particular profession, and then he would work, and then he'll give you a certain amount of his earnings. He'll give you a certain amount of his earnings. So this Abu Lu'lam al-Majusi, he was a very skilled dagger maker. So he was like, you can say like an ironmonger, or he was like a, what do you say, an ironmonger or blacksmith, but very, very skilled. He used to make very, very unique daggers. So he went to Amir al-Mu'minin, as Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and he said, look here, that my master or my owner, Mughira ibn Shu'bah, he's charging me too much. He expects me to earn too much money. So Hazrat Umar said, look, you've got a very specialized profession. You're not a normal GP. You are very specialized. So you probably earn a lot of money. So this tax that he's levying you on you, or this amount that he's charging you, this is a fair amount. It's not like excessive, right? So as Umar said, uh, told him that, okay, I want you to, I heard you can make very beautiful daggers. I want you to make me also a special dagger. So this Abu Lu'lu al-Majusi said, don't worry, I'll make such a dagger for you, such a unique dagger, that the whole world will remember this dagger. And obviously he knew what he was meaning. I want to make a very dangerous dagger to kill you. There's Umar radiallahu ta'ala who was also very, very wise. He said, as Umar said, haddadani al-abd. What he said? This slave here, he's threatened me. What he's done? He's threatened me. Haddadani al-abd. He's threatening to kill me. And remember, as Umar always made the dua that he wants to die, have shahadat in Medina. He wants shahadat in Medina. So how is it possible that you can get shahadat in Medina? If you get shahadat, you must go in shahad out. But Allah Ta'ala answered his dua. And the same picture of this, Abu Lu'lu al-Majusi was not happy with the decision of Umar that the tax levied by Mughira ibn Shu'bah is fair. Let's say one day after Fajr, on the 26th or the 27th of the Hijjah, 23 years after Hijri, on a Wednesday after Fajr, in Masjid al-Nabawi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, in the mihrab, he attacked as Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And certain Sahaba Karam that went for him. He also stabbed them. And after a few days, Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu succumbed to his wounds, and he became the beloved of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this hadith is quite a tricky, because you've got 3-4 different instances that are all related to each other. First, you got the incident of what happened with the son of the child of Uthman. Then you got the Abbas saying that as Umar has concurred. But before you do that, he introduced just another incident to say that as Umar was very close. Then he mentions the death of Hazrat Umar, and Hazrat Umar also saying the same thing. Then he mentions that, then the hadith mentions that Ibn Abbas mentioned this as Aisha, and Aisha Siddiqa didn't agree, right? And then he mentioned that as Aisha Siddiqa's fatwa or her said was mentioned was the Umar, Ibn Umar, and Ibn Umar just kept quiet and accepted it. So you need to just take some time out and just put everything in the proper context and perspective, inshallah. Let's we stop there. What period you have now? What period you have now? Huh? Let's see. Okay, that's Allah Ta'ala.